Recently, we told you that Fantastic Four had just undergone major reshoots. Now, there are serious rumors that it's the entire ending that Marvel must change. And why? Well, folks, exclusively, we've got information leading us to believe, and we'll share it with you, that Thunderbolts is way ahead of Fantastic Four in terms of enthusiasm. If you look at the box office, that could equal a Marvel misery disaster this summer. Hello, folks. Welcome back. It is a pleasure to join you from somewhere sunny USA. The studio is glistening because you are listening in. And folks, as we get ready to get started, consider clicking the like button. We'll dive in, and not with that Pedro Pascal peepaw power that the media is claiming he has, but rather with the gigawatts provided by you. Welcome, folks, back to another story about peepaw Pedro Pascal. PP Pascal is back in the news, and we would lose out if not our willingness to shout out this story. It starts with William Smith, but there's more to this. It says, hearing the test screenings didn't go over well because audiences didn't vibe with the ending, talking about Fantastic Four. So now they're reshooting some scenes. I'm still hopeful it'll be good, but it's a little worrying. Marvel really needs this one to be a home run. Why? Because they need PP Pascal, Pedro with that peepaw energy, the internet's daddy. They need him to be a real winner because, well, he's starring in some billion-dollar films. They put him there. It's their fault, not ours. By the way, this is going back to these images we saw, and it's been confirmed now. Julia Garner back in doing filming, not just photography, folks. We're talking about real deal reshoots happening in LA for Fantastic Four First Steps. This came out a few days ago, and now we're starting to get word that this is about horrible, terrible test screenings. We're going to talk about it in just a second. To do so, let's go to that Park Place, the website that if you're not yet bookmarked, well, you should be. Marvin Montanaro, the author. Sources report Fantastic Four ending completely reworked through last-minute reshoots. Now, why would they be doing that? And by the way, for those of you out there who might say, oh, come on, surely not. Folks, look at how this is. She's looking concerned. She's looking pensive. She's got on the dress. I confess, this looks to me like something that could be an ending scene leading in to Doomsday. And maybe it didn't go their way when they did this original film. And by the way, spoiler alert here, we've been hearing that somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to go kaputs. And that may not have gone over well with audiences either.
Is it the audience after they watch this movie?
We shall see on that one. Marvel Studios is reportedly in a panic mode over Fantastic Four First Steps ending, according to a post on X and we read that post. Folks, we won't read it again. But according to that, that's one step. But we've got other stuff here. While many dismissed it as speculation, that Park Place can now confirm through trusted sources close to the production that the report is accurate. Now, I'm going to be careful here. And the reason I'm going to be careful here is because we're talking about a future product. So I'm going to say that this is... we believe this has happened, but I'm still going to put it in the rumor and speculation territory because they can throw it out and do something else. Like they can reshoot again next week. So we are going to be somewhat careful. Marvel is actively reshooting key scenes to change the Fantastic Four ending following disappointing feedback from test audiences. It says not just pickups. This is a rewrite. Reshoots this close to release are always suspect, but when those reshoots are focused on the third act, it signals something more severe than a minor correction. It suggests that the entire conclusion of the film wasn't landing. And Marvel is rewriting the climax under pressure. Under pressure. By the way, before we go any further, let me just say this. Why would they be so nervous? Well, folks, Thunderbolts, they are praising that. Bob Iger just came out and said, this is the return to form for Marvel. Every story you read about Thunderbolts is glowing. And yet Thunderbolts is struggling to beat the Eternals at the box office. What they're saying in public might not be what they believe in private. And what they may be doing right now with Fantastic Four is realizing this is it. We didn't succeed in getting an audience for Captain America: Brave New World. Despite the critic reviews and despite the PR, people didn't show up for Thunderbolts largely. This is the last chance to excite audiences before Doomsday. To say that this is a $1 billion decision, not an expense for the reshoots, but in terms of does this get people interested again? Because, I just got a feeling that Ironheart's not going to do it. Call me crazy, but my memory is not so hazy, and I got a feeling that this might be Echo territory all over again. We'll go to the panel. Guys, do you believe at this point that there's any point in them trying to save Fantastic Four? Can they do it? Are these reshoots real? What say you?
I have one question, though. The amount of times they keep using Pedro Pascal, is he the new Kang by chance, and we just haven't realized it yet?
How dare you? How dare you? Sir,
What?
you will speak with reverence towards our peepaw.
Nah.
Stephen, do you know about the peepaw?
No, I every time I hear Pedro, I just turn off Twitter because he's everywhere.
Stephen, let me explain this to you because some people don't get it yet. The internet, what do you want to call these people? The Access Legacy Media.
Okay.
They have been telling now for years that Pedro Pascal has dad energy, that he is the internet's daddy, that he's a hot, sexy dad. They shifted in the past few weeks, and now they're calling him Peepaw, like a strange name for grandfather. Really? So he has Peepaw energy. They literally, we'll find this. Vash, can you find the Peepaw quote real quick and get that up on the screen for me, please?
Yes.
How did he go from daddy energy to cuddling with a man to grandpa energy?
He turned 50, Stephen, and in the minds of Hollywood, he's over the hill. 50, you're done for in Hollywood. I mean, it's over unless you're Tom Cruise, in which case you can still, leap from outer space and strap a camera to yourself when you do it. Vash, I asked you to put up the Peepaw energy, and folks, this is what Vash has found. Let me put up. Vash, this is not Peepaw. That is the galactic enemy. That's what.
Well, these are screenshots of the latest trailer right here, playing for Fantastic Four. This film's gonna have some problems. This film's gonna have some issues. I think that's not an understatement either, especially from the entertainment article that came out there. And I don't know. I look at how they're characterizing the Fantastic Four in that article. I look at these reshoots, and obviously test screenings didn't go well, which that could have been predicted, I think. And I just think this is going to have massive issues, not because I think it's going to necessarily be a terrible, horrible film, because this really needs to be a big winner for Marvel, and I don't think they could do it.
The problem is with this trailer versus the Superman one that released today is that when I watched the Superman trailer today, when Clark says people are going to die, I actually got like teary-eyed when that music started building up and they started showing the scenes. I watched Fantastic Four and I'm sitting going, there's just more Ellies on the screen now. It's Last of Us, but with different outfits. Let's go.
Stephen, what if I threw in some Peepaw energy for you?
Oh no! Oh no!
I just want you to know it's real. From Kotaku, Kenneth Shepard here. Says the Last of Us fans celebrate the temporary return of their TV Peepaw next week. Who is Peepaw? Pedro Pascal. Pedro P.P. Pascal. Peepaw himself. Listen, I just got this feeling, maybe Marvel with these reshoots, maybe they're beginning to wonder, does Peepaw Pedro have the power to get the audience excited for Doomsday? Maybe they're making some changes. I don't know. And the stuff they were saying, too, about the Human Torch, right? That wasn't so great either, telling us that, well, he's a gentleman now. He's not a ladies' man. He's no Bruce Wayne. He knows to sign the land acknowledgement agreements and get the consensual forms. He knows how to do that.
Well, so he's not a womanizer anymore that gets away by his looks and flaming powers. So they just took that away from him.
He has different flaming powers now.
Or he's Brie Larson, but just a different person.
Stephen, we live in a world where we're now talking about Peepaw energy. Okay, we've moved on. We've evolved.
In Peepaw we trust. Yeah.
In Peepaw. Kevin, can they save it? People aren't that excited about Fantastic Four. Can they generate enthusiasm now?
As the sword of Damocles hangs over Kevin Feige's head for his decade of woke lunacy, do you think he's just sitting there going, who's your Peepaw?
Oh no! It's the true live stripper scene, but it's Pedro Pascal and Bob Iger.
Listen, I don't think it would have taken a rocket scientist to figure out that the ending of this movie was probably not very heroic. And when you're debuting Marvel's first family and relying on the early 2000s iteration of the characters to frame the new Fantastic Four, them botching it on their first mission out is not going to go well. It's just not. People don't want to be miserable at a comic book movie. They want to see their heroes be heroic. They want to see them win. And when they lose, it's because it's going to advance the story. We don't know these people. We don't care about these people. And you're not giving the people who were aware of the original movies a characterization they're going to like. Because say what you want about the early 2000s ones, they are very much so products of their time. But the Ben Grimm, Johnny Storm characterizations were spot on. Reed and Sue were pretty good. And the movies were fun. The only misstep was Doctor Doom because studios are obsessed with giving him electrical powers. But I look at these trailers and I go, this is not the Fantastic Four. This is a bunch of boring people forced together and giving me zero chemistry. And as much as I thought I would have loved this homage to the 60s aesthetic, I'm just bored with it. This movie is going to be a fantastic bore. I don't think there's any other way around it. They know it, and now they're scrambling.
Kevin, that's fantastic wordplay. Let me add one more thing to what you say, and that is, I think that perhaps if Sue Storm brought the Meemaw energy, if we had Peepaw and Meemaw, there's a chance here. Folks, the reason you come to the Pro Channel, the reason you're here is because you want to walk away and say, I know tomorrow's headlines because I stopped by and saw Pro in the gang. You come here because you want to know things that no one else knows until we put it up on the show. Can I do so right now, folks? Will you allow me, please, to make you smarter than the Holly Weirds, which is, well, no high bar, but watch what we can do. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you what's really going on with these reshoots. Let me break it down for you. This is Thunderbolts. And this is the amount of money it's made. At the worldwide box office, 277. You know what? It's almost at 278. We'll give it to them. They need it. $278 million. Now, if you all know how much Marvel movies cost, you know that's nowhere close to good enough. And you know that no matter the positive press they give it, this is not impressing anybody in the C-suites of Disney. This is what we call FLOP, 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 flop. Well, maybe Fantastic Four is going to come in and help us forget about Thunderbolts, even though some people really like it, right? Maybe it's going to be the thing that was the first step towards Marvel being fixed and audiences returning. Not so much. The blue line, which you cannot even see right now, is Fantastic Four First Steps. The red line is Thunderbolts. Let me go back before we'll show you the chart, folks. $277 million, 278, they need it. $278 million is what Thunderbolts has made. If you take a look, it's performing at the bottom of the graph. Okay? This is not good. It's not good. How does it compare to Fantastic Four? There's the chart. Red is Fantastic Four. Red is Thunderbolts. Blue is Fantastic Four. And this is Google searches. And this is, lest anyone say, "Oh, you've made this where we can't," you've taken this out of context. You've picked a specific number of days. This is the past 90 days.
Bro, I've seen those lines before. It was in a medical alert commercial, and those were the pulse lines before. They just.
I want everybody to understand. We are approaching Fantastic Four, and it is not on the ascension. It is not performing anything like what you would want to see. This, I think, is the reason for the reshoots. I think panic mode has completely set in because there's something worse even than what we saw with Zegler, where people were, at least people were searching for Snow White. The worst thing is no one cares. And no one right now cares about Fantastic Four.
This is the apathy phase. We've finally reached it, and they can't deny it. I'm curious. I would love to see what the Google trends were for Fan 4 Stick around this time out, because I bet there are more people interested in that movie than they are going to be interested in this Snorefest.
Lauren, you are a person of great analytical ability. Are we wrong about this? Like, are we missing something? Is Fantastic Four going to come out and pull an Inside Out 2 and we just don't see it?
No, I have really only 2 points to make, and one is that subtitling the thing First Steps was awfully optimistic. I think that's probably a mistake right out the gate. The second is, as Kevin mentioned, if you're going to do this in the 60s, then the time to release this would have been shortly after the release of Captain America, the first one. That you have introduced these characters so late in the timeline is criminal. As he said, they're the first family of Marvel, and putting them in at this point it's far too little too late. You don't have any grounding for these characters for whatever they're going to do in Doomsday. It just feels like something that you're just plopping in here, and it's not going to function properly. They needed to do this way back in phase 1.
I kind of agree, because it kind of feels like it's a Brie Larson insert. I'm not trying to use this as you know what I mean? When like how they insert Brie Larson's Captain Marvel right in the middle. It has the same type of feel. They're not introducing these characters in a way like in promotional value where normies and casuals who don't know about these heroes can even get a foothold in. And Lauren's right as well. It should have been introduced a lot sooner, and we don't know why. We probably will never know why, but here we are.
Well, the practical reason is that at the time that Phase 1 was coming out, Fox Studios hadn't been acquired by Disney yet. And so there is a real reason for it, but they still could have been introduced earlier. Doing it at this late stage just feels wrong.
Well, I was going to say, they built themselves the inn. What was the point of doing the 5-year time jump? Because you could have introduced the Fantastic Four and the X-Men during the time jump. They went out of their way to say that when Thanos snapped the gauntlet, there was a massive surge of cosmic energy. Now that is a direct reference to the Fantastic Four. You could have had a bunch of SHIELD or SWORD agents in space. They get hit with the energy during the snap, so they don't fade away, and then they go off to a mission in space to see what's out there, which is why they're not there for the alien invasion. But they're doing all these fantastic feats of heroism while the Avengers are gone. You could open this movie up with 5 days after the snap. They wake up, and then the Mole Man attacks. They sidestep the obvious to go down this MCU lunacy, and it's done nothing but sabotage them every step of the way.
And it may be too late to save the day. That's the thing here. Nolan, it may be too late. Like, I'm watching parts of Disney start to moderate. The problem with Marvel, the problem with Star Wars is these projects take 3 and 4 years. These things were started in the second year of Biden's presidency. These things were started in the shadow of the Summer of Love, and now they're coming out. I think that's why we're getting these like emergency reshoots now, where they say, "Oh my gosh, we can't release this. We're at the edge of collapse."
The reality is they are in too deep in what they are doing here. In order to make major changes to this movie, to fix it, in my opinion, you have to recast 2 of the major characters. You have to completely rewrite Johnny Storm at this point. And it's really hard when you have a movie and you're this late in any sort of production that you need to make radical changes. Say you're making a cake, and you have to modify the recipe when you're putting on the frosting. It ain't gonna work out right, and you really need a true visionary that can make radical changes in order to save it, to adapt to what the audience is demanding. It's a kind of a gamble anytime you put a movie out there. Is this gonna land when it comes out 2 years from now? Feige has pretty much already confirmed that. He's like, well, I've been ever so busy with my other matters that I haven't been able to be as hands-on these films as I should have been. I don't know what else he was doing, but it's clear that they haven't given this film the care it needs to lead up into Doomsday. And I just think these changes are just so astronomically different that I think this is just going to be a detriment. I would be surprised if with that post-credit scene in Thunderbolts, not to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it yet, they've probably already been monitoring the market, and with the test feedback, they're probably like, hey, we probably already had 2 or 3 other stories in the can ready to go. And for you to not have that much faith in your movie, it's not a good sign going forward. And I think just the most core elements of any Fantastic Four movie is the team. And if people are already not connecting with the team from the trailers, it's a lost cause, and The Incredibles is still going to be the best Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, man, what a great reference at the end. Well played, Nolan. Well played. That's right, folks. You all out there stay incredible. Marvel has not, and now they're going to have to shoot their shot at the very end trying to make changes. Hope they can. Hope they can save the day, because Peepaw is going to have a payday one way or another. The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Hey, Floral, guess what?
You put a fork in Pro's microwave again.
No, that was yesterday.
I don't know that what.
Oh, I've decided to give up on torturing Jonas.
What? Why? In the same way the cat sleeps like 20 hours a day, that was like your purpose.
I know, but I've decided there's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Like Lorne. I mean, think about it. Everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite, and frankly, he has almost no weaknesses I can find. Except that he's really smart.
So, you want to annoy the one panelist without a single flaw, because he's smart.
Yeah, like that winged statue at that fancy Paris museum thingy. I want to break the one thing that everyone loves most.
Right. So, kind of like the opposite of Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, exactly. And I get to see her all the time at family reunions anyway.
You get to see Rachel Zegler?
Yeah. She's a total troll. Lives under a bridge, harasses billy goats, the whole 9 yards.
It all makes sense now.
Speaking of which, maybe she'll get me... I'm gonna call her on my... I'm gonna call her and see if she'll be in the next Indiana Jones. She should be the next Indiana Jones. That'll totally destroy Lord. He loves Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's cruel.
Hey, Rach. I've got a cool idea for you that involves a whip and snakes.
I love that description. It's perfect.
I know, right? Weird, as we always say.